I was my mom's little husband, not her son. My brother and I were her husbands. We were meant to take care of her, her feelings, her emotions. She leaned on us, she vented to us. Things we should have never known as children, we knew. Everything in her relationships that were going on with friends, our stepdad, our biological dad. We knew every transgression that happened in the house. And we always heard our parents arguing, and they would argue in front of us or in the house, but behind a closed door. So we really never ever felt safe emotionally or supported. And that was the frustrating part. And that's where I feel like my childhood was robbed from me. And that's what led to no contact. And a lot of what I'm trying to unpack is still to this day, my mom leaned on us so much for emotional support that it's very hard for me to hear people's, it's almost compassion fatigue, right? I spent my whole life taking care of my mom. Once we started driving, we would take her to doctor's appointments. She was in and out of the hospital because I think of anxiety and trauma, but she just never faced it. And oftentimes there was a lot of verbal abuse that happened as we got older. My mom would sleep 15, 20 hours a day, and she would come out randomly and yell at all of us, my brother, my dad, and myself, that the house wasn't clean or something crazy was going on, and then she would just go back to sleep. She was like in a daze, which I totally have compassion for because obviously she was struggling mentally. So these are things that led up to me going no contact that a lot of people don't understand. That I was parentified from a young age to take care of my mom, to take care of her needs, and never put my needs first. So as I got older, the verbal abuse continued on. I was always responsible for taking care of her, or if I didn't really react the way that she wanted me to, it was being yelled at. I remember going to therapy one time with her, and the goal for us to go to therapy with my brother and I was for her to have the therapist tell us how disrespectful we were and everything else. And that ended with the therapist saying, hey, you know what? If you keep acting this way, your kids are going to go no contact because you're putting too much responsibility on them. It's not their role to take care of you. And while that was validating, my mom got up, yelled at the therapist, and started to run out of the office and then fell down the stairs. It was the craziest event that happened. But these are things that led to the no contact. There were decades of this going on. We were put into roles that we should have never been put in. And I know a lot of you guys are in those roles as well. So I want you to know, if you were put in those roles, it was never fair. And I know you have to climb out of this, but you can climb out of it. And you've got this. I hope that you're healing and you're finding your way. I love you.
Good question. I'm going to go grab some French toast sticks and then we'll get into this with some screenshots.